Hey everyone! I am so happy to be back. I'm so excited. I am happy to be back. If you're new, welcome. My name is B, and in this beautiful video of today, we're gonna be talking about how celibacy exposed all my addictions. This is going to be a bit of an intuitive video because I wrote the title here, but I didn't write anything else. But I really relate, like, this is something I wrote a few months back, and I'm reading it now and I'm like, oh, mind blown, because this is so freaking true. One of the major benefits that celibacy has brought me was exposing my shadows, exposing the ugly side, exposing things that I needed to work on to become a better version of myself. So guys, if you're new, welcome. My name is V. I want to quickly say that this channel used to be Tea with V, but by the time that you're reading this channel, I have rebranded and I have a full new name, and a different type of contents are coming your way, and I am so freaking excited. Check it out. I'll put my Instagram right here so you guys can go to my Instagram and check it out, because I made a whole video of how I created this beauty right here. And of course, welcoming the spring, welcoming the new season, welcoming blooming season, which is my favorite one, the real new year, and I wanted to honor that and bring that vibe a little bit in my room. So that's why all this beauty that you guys see here and also back here. But without any further ado, let's just jump into this video. So how celibacy exposed my addiction. Oh my god, how can I start this? There are many things that I've stopped doing ever since I became celibacy. One of them is breaking addiction. The second one, alcoholism. I was drinking alcohol every day, all day. It was really bad. I was actually an alcoholic, you might say. And another addiction that I'm recently in the process of breaking is smoking. If you don't know, I smoke the greens. It's the only thing that I smoke though. So I do this thing where I do an identity shift, and every year in my journal I write like, who is this person that I want to become, what I can do to become this person. And you know, I go into this deep journaling to, you know, help me figure out who am I supposed to become for this new season of life that I'm entering. And last year I was doing that, and one of the things that came up for me was that I needed to stop. And it was so interesting to me, because when I first stopped drinking alcohol, I was thinking, okay, one of the things that really helped me to quit it so easily was like, okay, I still have smoking, so I can just smoke and it will be all right. A year later, after breaking that pattern, what came clear to me was smoking. And I was like, oh my gosh, but how am I gonna do it? And one of the things that really came up to me was like, somehow, some way I created, and this is not that something that I created. I feel like this is something of society. Somehow, some way, society has made us believe that everyone is addicted to something, and that everyone is using something in order to cope. And I had this belief where I thought that I needed to have something to help me cope with the reality, and it is okay if I consume anything in an addictive way, because everyone is doing it, so it's nothing wrong. And you know, as I started my journey of trying to break this pattern, I realized, and just journaling on this topic, I realized that that is a very crazy limiting belief. Who told us that we had to have an addiction in order to survive, or in order to cope with this reality? It's a very sick belief, and somehow I had it. And I don't blame anyone if they feel like, you know, they need certain things, or they need to consume certain things to feel like to cope with this reality. I understand, I completely understand. But sit and think back. Is it really normal? And when I started like questioning this thing and thinking like, is this normal? Is this okay? Why do I believe this? I started noticing that the first thing that came up to me was because I saw everyone was doing it, I thought that it was normalized and it's okay. And that is such a cheap mindset. And I don't blame anyone, or I'm not judging anyone, because at the end of the day, everyone has free will and you can do whatever you want, baby. Like, period. I'm not judging you. But however, for me personally, I feel like that is a really cheap mindset. And just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean that I also have to do or participate in it. And that was one of the things that really came up to me last year when I was like journaling on this topic of like, okay, I was kind of asking God, and I was saying like, okay, universe or God, source, whatever higher power you believe in, I was just asking, okay, why can't I not do this? Why no, it wasn't that. The question is, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to stop smoking when everyone is doing it, when it's normalized? It's even illegal in the country that I live in. Like, come on. So it was like so strange to me. And then what came to me was like, just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean that you have to be doing it. And just because something is normalized in a society doesn't mean that it is good for you, or it's how things are supposed to be. And when I was journaling on these things, of the vision that came to me was the vision of my ancestors, of my, not only my ancestor, but the cave woman me. So my bloodline, that was going way back during the times where, you know, cavemen and women, when monarchy and hierarchy and none of these things yet existed, they didn't have any type of those addictions. They didn't need something to survive or cope with. So how did all of the women or the men or the people back then, like, they didn't need anything to help them deal with the situation, whatever the situation may be? So what makes you think that you right now, that have it 10 times more easy, you have accessibility to everything and anything you need, how come that now that you have more, you need something to help you cope with the reality? When back then, the cave woman you didn't need anything and was dealing with everything, whatever that was coming her way, without having any moment of coping, anything of consumption like alcohol or drugs to cope. Of course, they had plants and mushrooms and all these things, but some of that didn't even become a thing until years later. So what makes you think that you right now, that have it a way more easy, have more accessibility to things, and supposedly should be more now relaxed, needs something to cope with? Honey, when that came through for me, I was like, I get the message. I get the message. I get the message. When I was journaling on all these things, it really made me realize that it was just a belief. It was just a limiting belief that somehow society and people around us, you know, our environment, all of these things affect us and make us think of it. Honestly, I didn't realize, I didn't view any of these stuff like this until I became a celibate. Like literally when I became celibate, the first thing that came clear to me was it's not something that we decided, it was something that was implemented to us. And because we thought that, you know, we are humans at the end of the day, and if you see that the majority is like that, again going back to the sheep mindset, if you see that the majority is like that, then you wouldn't see it as something bad. During my celibacy phases, I worked on breaking alcohol patterns, breaking sexual patterns, and now I'm currently working on breaking the pattern of smoking. It's been since 12th of March, so now we're what, 28? So it's been like 1 day, except the 27, because the 27 I hit the joint because I was celebrating that I passed my term, and I was like, let me have a little celebration, and I did what I did. So I started again on the 27 I hit it, and then 28 I stopped again. So now I'm again back at 0. So today is 29, so it's been 2 days, and I'm slowly breaking that pattern, because you also got, one of the things that I also learned through breaking addiction is like how you decide. I didn't realize that the way that you decide is so important, especially if you have a really bad addiction, because it is very easy to fall back. And I also was reading online a lot of people breaking their addiction to alcohol, how they, you know, some of them got like even more sick, in the sense of their body operated so much off of that consumption of alcohol that when they stopped drinking and they were like 3 or 4 days in, they become really sick, or they develop certain disease. Because the thing that our body is, our body adjusts itself based on what we consume, eat, and all of these things. So a lot of the times with alcohol, your body adjusts itself by getting accustomed that, okay, this person drinks this much for this X amount. So it's almost like the body adjusts to that and start operating based on that consumption. And then when you stop, all of a sudden it goes crazy, in the sense of like it doesn't know how to function, because for years, like in my case for like 6 years, I was drinking alcohol like almost every day. 6 years, 5 years, 6, around that time, I'm not sure. And then when I stopped, all these cravings started. Like I am a person, I don't like sugar, which I didn't know that alcohol is actually sugar also, but I didn't like sugar. And recently I started eating a lot of candy, and I've never ate candy in my life until right now, this age. And I realized it's because of the body adjusts itself to the sugar of the alcohol, that it start functioning in that way. So you have to almost like go through this process of cleansing, and not only cleansing your body, but also cleansing your mind and cleansing your energy, because psychologically it also has certain effects. So with this video, I just wanted to quickly just touch upon these topics, because I feel like these are all things that I've journaled, practiced, and embody for as long as I can. And I will be making separate videos of each of these things and sharing my personal journey and how did I help myself to break out of these patterns physically, emotionally, and mentally. I already have a few videos, so if you're interested you can check them below, but I will be making more videos because as I go through this process I'm still like learning more things. And if you're interested in my celibacy journey and want to start your celibacy journey and want to start abstaining, or you're having any difficulty with abstaining, you can check out my ebook Initiation of a Goddess Celibacy Journey. I have journal prompts, and I also share my personal story and journal prompts that I've used the last 5 years. I even use the same journal prompts for helping me with addictions of alcohol. And for weed, I haven't actually used them yet, but I think I'm gonna start because I realized that I really need to journal on this and go deep within. So I'll be sharing that also with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.